And they're so fun to squish. Hey everyone, how's everyone doing today? My name is Gina and I am doing great. Let's just get right to it. It's easier to dump them out and twirl them around. And let's see, what are we going to do this week? Create a character. Okay. Create a character. All right, we can do it. We can do it, Sunny Pruitt. I think I have an idea of what I want to do. Actually, it's something new that I have been wanting to try. So we just gonna do it. So I have a squishy here. Now, mind you, I've never done this before, and I guess I'm going to keep this keychain on. Why not? And they're so fun to squish. All right. But we're going to do something different with these guys. We are going to use puffy paint, slick paint. What is it called? 3D paint? Fabric paint. Fabric paint. Scribbles. Fabric paint. And I'm going to create something different for him than what he is. Okay, the first thing that I did was I went ahead and used my sanding block here to just gently sand the squishy. It was a new squishy, so it didn't have any nicks or paint peeling or anything like that, but I just felt that it would help to do that so that the paint would adhere on it a little bit better. I don't know if it was necessary or not, but I did it. It didn't take but just, a few seconds to do it, so it was no big deal to do that. The paint that I'm using, as I said before, is fabric paint. Because you want to use fabric paint and not acrylic, because fabric paint kind of stretches and gives, and that's what a squishy needs, right? If you put acrylic on it, it's going to end up crackling and just peeling off and everything. So I have two types. The ones that are in the smaller bottles, those are shiny, and the one in the big bottle, the white one, is a matte fabric paint. The reason why I got the matte fabric paint is with the matte, it's a little bit thicker, so therefore you can use a brush on it with it and, use a brush. Whereas the slick paint, it will take either a popsicle stick or something to use to smooth it on. Here I'm showing my little container that I have here. I did not buy that. It came in one of those kits that I get, like my little ceramic figurines has them. The Nutcracker had them. And they have those paints in them that are really like not the best paints in the world. So I just dumped those paints out and I cleaned the container out, and it worked perfectly because I wanted a container because I knew I was going to mix colors, and I wanted to make sure that I had a container to put them in that was airtight so that I wouldn't waste this paint, because this paint is a little bit expensive. So, I wanted to make sure that I kept the paint. The first color that I ended up mixing was the white with the hot chocolate or the brown, and it was a way lighter color than what I really wanted it to be. I put way too much white in it. And I also try to add some yellow and some red in it to get it to the color that I wanted, because in my vision, I was thinking of the cookie being a chocolate chip cookie, like a double stuffed Oreo chocolate chip cookie was what was in my head. I know I've seen those, that the chocolate chips, have a stuffing in between. I don't think they're Oreos. They might be Chip Ahoy. I don't know. I really don't eat cookies like that, but I know I've seen them in the store. But so that was my vision, was to make a chocolate chip cookie stuffed with goodness in the middle, right?
Mom?
But like I said, this color was way too light, but I used it anyway. And I think it did do something by using it, and that is to cover that purple up a lot better than if I were to go in with just the color that I needed first. Of course, I don't know if that's a true statement or not because I didn't use the correct color first, but we're just going to say that that's what happened. That way it wasn't a waste to do this step, right? So as you see, I'm just using a popsicle stick to mix everything, and I eventually did use a brush, and the brush that I ended up using, I think this is another trick to using a brush with this type of paint. That brush right there was not working. It left too many streaks and I didn't like it. And that is more of the soft bristled brush. Well, not soft bristled, but more of the stiff bristled. I don't know why I just said soft. That is not what it was. It was more the stiff kind, like kind of like what you would use in watercoloring and stuff like that. The paintbrush that I ended up using that worked the best is the soft brush kind, the kind that really gets really way too soft really to use for anything. I don't even know really what these brushes are for. They may be for acrylic. I don't know, but they're definitely not for watercolor because they hold way too much water and they get too soppy. Yeah, I hope that's making sense, nice. But it doesn't. There it is right there. And it worked perfectly because it was a softer bristled brush. And I think that's the key because the lines that you see are not from that brush. They're actually from that other brush that I used. So this did take a few days to do because it does take a long time for this paint to dry. This paint is not quick drying like acrylic. It will take several hours to dry for you to be able to handle it. And so I ended up creating a new color, and that is what you see on there now. I forgot to show me painting the darker color. And then what I'm doing is this color was too dark. At first, this was the color I was going to use for the base. And then I was like, this is just too dark. So then I took some of that color and added a little bit of white to it. And then I created the perfect cookie base color. And so now what I'm doing is I'm picking a brush bristle. That's the only bad thing about using those type of brushes. They do lose their bristles a lot. They may actually be an oil paint brush. I don't know, but they're very, 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 very soft. But then I took the darker color and went around the edges kind of like it was, for a little bit of shadowing and for it to look like, that they had been baked in an oven. And then I'm going to take my shiny hot chocolate. Well, first I'm taking the white and I'm just going around the edge to show that creamy feeling that's been oozed out when they squished the cookies together. And then I will end up using black for his eyes and his little half smile. I like that little half smile. And right here I'm using the hot chocolate again to use as his hair, but it's more like fudge that's been, oozed down the cookie. And here I've made these sprinkles with polymer clay.
Hey man, that's groovy.
And that was so much fun to make. It's really easy to do. And so I'm just placing them where I want them to be on his little hair. I think it's so cute. But then, yes, I will end up using black for his eyes and his half smile. And then I will put a little bit of that hot chocolate in a well and use a stylus to put little dots all around to resemble little chocolate chips. So it turned out really cute. And again, it does take a while like this because of the thickness of that hot chocolate or the hot fudge going down his face and the ooey gooey feeling. Because it was so thick, I ended up, this is what took the longest to dry. It did take a full day to dry overnight and everything before I could handle it again, because I didn't want to mess any of that up. And as you see here, I am putting his eyes and his mouth on with a stylus. It's really easy to use the paint with a stylus, and I just love it. I had so much fun doing this, and I have some more to do. I just have to think of what I wanted to create with them, but I think they're so funny. And here I'm showing me putting his little chocolate chips on his face. And once he gets good and dry, I will put hair or hot fudge on the backside and chocolate chips on the backside too. And then he will be finished and done. And so easy and so much fun. This was so much fun. It's going to be highly addictive, I'm afraid, because I enjoyed it. Look how cute he is. And then I just put white for his eyes, and just, oh my gosh, he's adorable. I just love him so much. And he's still squishy. You can still squish him. There's nothing wrong with it. It was still just a little bit sticky because it had not fully dried, and I didn't want to really give him a good squish, but you can still squish him. So, well, that's it for this video. I hope you're enjoying the series. I'm enjoying it so much. If you like the video, please like and share it. It will just help my channel to grow, and I'd appreciate it. All right, y'all. Y'all be good to one another, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.